Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chevam Narotamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jaya Mudiraye.
Tato Jaya Mudire.
Nastapresu Abhadreshu.
Nastapraeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavate Utamasloke.
Bhagavate Utamasloke.
Bhakti Bhavaiti Nestiti.
Bhakti Bhakti Nestiti.
So today we are reading from Holy Srimad Bhagavatam, conclusion of chapter 23, Canto 8, text 30 and 31. First we shall read number 30. Ya idam deva devasya.
Ya idam deva devasya.
Ya idam deva devasya.
Ya idam deva devasya.
Hare adbhuta karmana.
Hare adbhuta karmana.
Hare adbhuta karmana.
Hare adbhuta karmana.
Avatara anucharitam. Avatara anucharitam. Shrinvam yati param gatim.
Shrivam yati param gatim.
Shrinvam yati param gatim.
Shrivam yati param gatim.
I shall read the translation and then we shall go on with text 31. If one hears about the uncommon activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his various incarnations, he is certainly elevated to the higher planetary system or even brought back home, back to Godhead. Text 31. Is it on the board? Yes. Kriyamane karmadinam.
Kriyamane karmadinam.
Kriyamane karmadinam.
Kriyamane karmadinam.
Deve prityetanta manuse.
Deve prityeta manuse.
Deve prityeta manuse.
Deve prityeta manuse.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Yatra yatra nutirkyetya.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Kriyamane karmadinam.
Kriyamane karmadinam.
Devi prityeta manuse.
Deve prityeta manuse.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Devotees.
Kriyamane karmanidam.
Kriyamane karmanidam.
Deve pityeta manuse.
Deve pityeta manuse.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Tattesham sukritam vidu. Kriyamane karmanidam.
Kriyamane karmanidam.
Deva pitre atha manuse. Yatra yatra anukirtyeta. Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Kriyamane karmanidam.
Kriyamane karmanidam.
Deve pityeta manuse.
Deve pityeta manuse.
Yatra yatra nukirtyeta.
Yatra yatra anukirtyeta.
Tattesham sukritam vidu.
Ladies.
Kriyamane karmanidam
Kriyamane karmanidam
Deve pitrietamanus
Deve pitrietamanus
Yatra yatra nukirkyeta
Yatra yatra nukirkyeta
Tattesham sukritam vidu
Tattesham sukritam vidu
Kriyamane,
Kriyamane
upon the performance,
upon the performance
karmani,
Karmani
of a ritualistic ceremony.
ritualistic service
Idam,
Idam
is description
the description
of the characteristics of Vamanadev.
of the characteristics of Vamanadev
Devi,
Deve
to please the demigods.
to please the demigods
Pitriye,
Pitriye
or to please the forefathers,
to please the forefathers
as in a Shraddha ceremony.
as in the Shastras
Ata,
Atha
either.
either
Manuse,
Manase
for the pleasure of human society,
to the pleasure of human society
as in marriages.
as in marriages
Yatra,
Yatra
wherever.
wherever
Yatra,
Yatra
whenever.
whenever
Anukirtyeta,
Kirtans
described.
describe
Tat,
Tat
that.
that
Tesham,
Krishna
for them.
then
Sukritam,
Sukritam
auspicious.
auspicious
Vidu,
Vidu
everyone should understand.
everyone should understand.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Whenever the activities of Vamanadev are described in the course of a ritualistic ceremony, whether the ceremony is performed to please the demigods, to please one's forefathers in Pritalaka, or to celebrate a social event like a marriage, that ceremony should be understood to be extremely auspicious. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. There are three kinds of ceremonies. Specifically, ceremonies to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the demigods. Those ceremonies performed for social celebrations, like marriages and birthdays, and those meant to please the forefathers, like the Shraddha ceremony. In all these ceremonies, large amounts of money are spent for various activities. But here it is suggested that if along with this there is a recitation of the wonderful activities of Vamanadev, certainly the ceremony will be carried out successfully and will be free of all discrepancies. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport on the 8th canto, 23rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Demigods Regain the Heavenly Planets. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Saksu Sumitam Gyana Taismat Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bistam Stapitam Minabhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadam E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kachana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Brishabhanu Sutedevi Hare Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Prabhupada ki jai. Shrimati Bhakti Yoga Santi Ambosat Bhaktanamaye Manipuru Dvacha Prabhupada Sarvani Pracharan Karayati. So here, this verse is a conclusion of the 23rd chapter, Canto 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam, relating with the demigods regain the heavenly planets, and it is about on the topic of Vamanadev's wonderful activities, pastimes. So, throughout his teachings, Srila Prabhupada explained to us that actually rituals may be necessary, but most important in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the age of Kali, is to practice Yuga Dharma, that is to say, the Sankirtan, congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. This is most important. Ritualistic ceremonies are important in one sense that they help to create a Vedic atmosphere, to purify the atmosphere, so as to facilitate various spiritual activities. Yes. Still, the ultimate purifier is Lord Krishna himself, and Arjuna especially says this in Bhagavad Gita. And still, if we want to be purified, we have to chant the holy name of the Lord. And this is the only solution to have our hearts fully purified. And this is the only way, actually, to really please Lord Krishna. In the installation of the deities in Sri Vrindavan Dham, in Krishna Balaram temple, there was a huge ceremony in which the local priests were invited, and for a few days they performed all kinds of ceremonies, singing mantras in the Vedic style, with a good rhythm, with a specific meter. And Prabhupada wanted it. And but all during the ceremonies, he participated, but he would listen to everyone very politely. But at the end of it, he said to his devotees, once all the rituals were finished, were completed, he said to his devotees, now let's make a good kirtan. Mm-hmm. And all together, they chanted Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because, of course, in Sri Vrindavan Dham, yes, Brahmins, they were accustomed to perform all these kind of ceremonies for Lord Krishna, to please the Lord. And yes, it is bhakti. It was bhakti. It is bhakti. But still, you see, what is the aim of all these ritualistic ceremonies? What is the aim? What is the goal? If there is not, if it's not to please the Supreme Lord. And really, if you want to please someone, the best way is to call him by his name. When you meet someone, you may call him Prabhu or Mataji or whatever. Yes, this is nice. But when you call someone with his name, yes, up, immediately he reciprocates very nicely. So the best way to call Krishna or to please Krishna is to call him by his name. Yes, in the Vedic mantras, there are many names of Krishna. We know there are thousands of names of Krishna, all corresponding to one pastime of Lord Krishna. Krishna is Purushottam, Krishna is, in his dwarf incarnation is Vamanadev, there is also Nishingadev, there is also Kurma avatar, there is so many Varahadev, yes, there is Gopal, there is etc., etc. There are so many. But Krishna is the original name, yes. We can say in one sense the real name, yes. Krishna. And then if we chant Krishna, yes, definitely this is the best way to please Lord Krishna. So as far as the ritualistic ceremonies have to be made, they should be made in the goal of attracting Krishna. And this is why, in the course of these ritualistic ceremonies, so many mantras are made which are focused not to please the demigods, but to please Lord Krishna. So now, as a conclusion of this chapter, it is said that we should remember the wonderful pastimes of Sri Vamanadev, and then our existence will be purified and will come to a bright conclusion. Yes. And you hear and you can see and you can read this kind of conclusion practically to every section of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read the story, if you relish the story of Varahadev, then you will get perfection. If you relish the wonderful pastimes of Nishingadev, then you will achieve perfection. So then what? Always the same story? More or less, but at the same time, yes, spiritual life is one and also different. Yes. What we practice is Achintya Beda Beda Atattva philosophy, in which everyone is, or everything is, should be linked with the Supreme, and at the same time it is different. Yes, this is the philosophy taught by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then, what about Vamanadev especially? Yes, it is true that you can get perfection of life if you hear, and if you listen to, and if you relish Narashinga's wonderful pastimes. But as far as Vamanadev is concerned, Lord Vamanadev is concerned, it is a little special. And you find that in your Vaishnava calendar, there are a few avatars which are mentioned. A few. We should put. Why not have Kurmadev in the Vaishnava calendar? Mm-hmm. Why not have Ayagriva? Why not? Why not have Matsya Avatar in the Vaishnava calendar? But no, they are not. They could be. But in the Vaishnava calendar, there is Narashingadev, yes. There is Vamanadev, yes. There is Varaha also. As far as Vamanadev is concerned, Vamanadev, Lord Vamanadev is very special for devotees because he's teaching us, along with Bali Maharaj in his relationship with the Lord, he's teaching us how to surrender to Krishna and to cultivate humility. And humility and cultivation of self-surrender to Krishna are most essential qualities for a devotee. Actually, when we come to in this material world, we are completely in the opposite mentality. We are far from being humble, far from it. We always try to put ourselves in the center of everyone, yes, of everything. And in the conflicts between people who don't practice spiritual life, karmis, so to say, all those conflicts are based because there is a lack of humility. I want to be the center of everything, of everyone, and if you don't respect me, then I will kick you on your face. So what? Then surrender. If I'm a kami, just not even in dream. No, I want everyone to surrender to me. Yes. I want to be the master. Huh? I want to be the master. I want everyone to give me money, to give me adoration, and to please me. Yes. So if you practice these two items, then you'll be a great and perfect kami. But as for a devotee, it is completely the opposite. We cultivate humility and we cultivate self-surrender. Especially in the time of marathon, when we have to go in the streets, when the preachers of Krishna Consciousness movement, when they are in the streets, definitely they have Krishna in their heart and Srila Prabhupada in their heart, and they have to cultivate humility because you see you meet people which are really, really not in the mood of taking books, of hearing about Krishna. And therefore, the way to pierce their heart, to reach their heart, is to be very humble and to give them all respect. And then, actually, it is going to get some result that you're going to have the wonderful opportunity to give them a book. And actually, real humility is to consider everyone to be superior to you. And it is not that obvious, actually. It's not that obvious. How to consider someone who is taking meat, eating meat, who is drinking alcohol, who is performing all kinds of sinful acts. How can you consider him to be superior to you, who is practicing Krishna consciousness for some time, for years, and who is trying to please the Lord the best you can? How is that? Well, the vision of the devotee is to see everyone as Krishna's child, as Krishna's creature, and to see him as a potential soul who for the time being is unfortunate because he is occupying a material body, but still is on the way to Krishna. And definitely when you perform Harinam Sankirtan, when you distribute books, when you distribute magazines, definitely it is an opportunity that you give to everyone to become one day a pure devotee of Krishna. Sometimes when you distribute books, you see, oh, here I'm giving a book to the next head pujari in Radha Parisisvara temple. you see that. And so this is many of us actually have received one day a book by a devotee or a magazine, and sometimes it takes years or sometimes for the Bhakti Lata beach to sprout in the heart. But still, once you've given the taste of prasad, once you have given the taste of reading the books, then we can say some of the good job has been made already. I remember the first time I received a BTG magazine years ago. Wow! I opened this magazine. It was just magic. It has a special smell, a smell of incense, something called alava, I heard after, and it was magic. And then I opened, and it was describing the age of Kali and the man in the age of Kali. Oh la la! But still, it was the brilliant face of Srila Prabhupada's brilliant face. There were pictures of this one, Krishna, the only one, yes, for beloved Lord Krishna. And then it was magic. And then I heard a song. Some special people they were dressed with a cheat, yes, and they were shaved heads, and they were making special songs. And I said, oh, what strange it is. Oh, strange. I was in some tamasic mood, I suppose, as usual, and but I received the card, and then that was it. So you cannot imagine what is the power of book distribution and spreading the holy name of the Lord. Actually, each time we chant Hare Krishna, each mantra we speak in the mood of pleasing Lord Krishna, definitely it goes throughout all the covering of the universes, and then it reaches the spiritual sky. it is said in our Shastras that when we practice, we try to have some dasyaras. When we practice dasyaras, that is to say, we have a mood of servitorship to Lord Krishna, we reach Vaikuntha Loka. In the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains that we can cultivate 5 kinds of relationships towards Lord Krishna. And the devotees, actually, throughout his spiritual life, is trying to cultivate some rasa. Of course, some special rasa, that is to say, some special flavor in spiritual life, flavor in devotional service. We may not be so elevated to know in which rasa we are towards Lord Krishna, but still at least we try to practice dasyaras. Let's remember that there are 5 rasas, as we said. Dasyaras, mood of servitorship. Sakyaras, that is to say, mood of friendship. Yes. Vatsalyaras, mood of parenthood, relationship. And then there is Madhuryaras, which is a mood of conjugal love to Lord Krishna. Yes. These are the rasas we practice. We try to gain when practicing spiritual life. So at least we practice dasyaras, and dasyaras will bring us, will drive us all back home, back to Godhead. As far as surrender is concerned, because we said that Vamadev pastimes, they can help us to cultivate two qualities, humility and surrender. Surrender to who? Not to a false god, not to idols, not to false attachments. No. Only surrender to Lord Krishna. Surrender to Lord Krishna. And actually, Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, at the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, 1866, he says, Sarva dharma parijaja, mam ekam charam raja, aham tvam sarva papepyo, mokshayishami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So, when we practice spiritual life, we should do it in a nice way and in the mood of surrender. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Because actually, when we are in material life, there are some material objects that we can see. And therefore it can give us some confidence. But when we speak of spiritual life, we speak of spirit. And spirit, what is spirit? Spirit is something actually that you cannot see. We believe, the scripture says, the Acharya said, that spirit is at the root of matter, or matter comes from spirit. But for someone who has been in the material life for so many lifetimes, it's not that easy to catch. And therefore, to surrender to spiritual life, to surrender to Lord Krishna, to surrender to Guru, is not that easy, especially when you want to be the center of everything. So we have to, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we completely have to change our mentality and surrender to the only one, Lord Krishna. This comes to surrendering to one's Guru, to our Gurudev and to Srila Prabhupada. And sometimes, often, it is not that easy. Because we are in the mood of trying to perform bhakti, and we may have some tendency to to do nonsense while trying to practice bhakti. I remember one lady, I want a Vaishnavi, actually, a very nice Vaishnavi, who does very wonderful service. But I won't mention her name because she did some mistake, but this happens. Who doesn't do mistakes in his lifetime? Who are we to judge? But still, this lady, she just received her initiation and her name by her guru, and then she went to see her guru. We were a group of devotees around her, and she showed to her guru some pictures of her little deity, her little Gopal deity, and she was very happy to show to her Gurudev. Or here, Gurudev, here, Srila Gurudev, this is my deity. Here is Gopal. You see, I try to dress him nicely, and I hope to offer nice food to him every day. And here you see, here is Gopal, a picture. Gopal is actually driving a plane, like you find a Air India plane. Yes. You see, Gurudev, yes, and here is my Gopal driving a car, yes, a Mercedes car, a small one, a model one, yes. And so the Guru said, what is this? You know what? This is speculation. You should not do this with your deity. We have to worship our deity according to the scriptures, according to Sri Guru Parampara. If you do this, you are in Maya. Then the lady, a very nice Vaishnavi anyway, but she burst into tears and she was crying like anything. But I think she received the story. She could receive the teaching, and this was a great teaching for everyone. Actually, we have to, because we may have sometimes, often to practice spiritual life according to our whims. Srila Prabhupada is the Acharya, and it is true that sometimes he performed actions to spread Krishna consciousness, which may not be, strictly speaking, in the process, but still he did it because he is the Acharya, is empowered by Krishna, and therefore he can take initiatives that we cannot take ourselves so lightly. The idea that we should perform devotional service according to time and circumstance, it is true, yes. We have to be clever, and Krishna will give inspiration in our heart so that we can perform devotional service nicely, but still we cannot do things whimsically. So now, anyway, to come back to our verse, here it is said that we should always remember Vamanadev story. We should remember the attitude of Bali Maharaj, who actually was born as a demon, and actually he was a devotee. He was a devotee, but he was born in a demoniac family, and actually he became a pure devotee. All of us, practically speaking, are born in a demoniac family. But by Krishna's mercy, we have become devotees. And we have to pray Lord Krishna that we always remain in the remembrance of his wonderful pastimes, so that at the time of death, that is to say the final test, we may remember him and hopefully serve him eternally in the spiritual realm. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Are there comments? Prabhus? Mothers? Yes? Vous voulez que je parle en français?
Il y a 5 relations quotidiennes avec Krishna.
Oui.
Et elles ont lieu dans une même vie ou dans différentes vies en fait. Est-ce qu'elles ont des différents niveaux
Nous avons, je parle en anglais, donc nous avons, non en français, nous avons no, we have an eternal relationship with Lord Krishna, and actually we have a Swarupa Siddhi. We have an eternal form in the spiritual world. It is true that we may cultivate some rasas together. Actually, for every devotee, there is the minimum of dasya ras. Because a devotee himself is a das or a dasi. We're all dead. But apart from this, then there may be another relationship. For Arjuna, for instance, is definitely Krishna das, definitely, but he is also Krishna's friend. And every parent, they know that first of all, they have to serve their children. We have to take them out of bed every day. We have to give them their bath. We have to prepare food. We have to bring them to school, and so on and so forth. So there is first of all a relationship of servitorship, but this servitorship relationship is included in Vatsalya Ras. That is to say, yes. But so therefore you can cultivate a few rasas altogether. You can have 1 or 2 or even 3, because actually, for instance, the Madhurya ras, which is supposed to be the highest ras, includes all the rasas actually. Includes all the rasas, because when you are someone's lover, you're definitely his friend or her friend. You have to serve, because in a relationship of love, there is an exchange of serving one another. Yes, parenthood, no, there may not be parenthood, no, not that one, but anyway. Did I answer your question? Did I reply your question? Is it clear?
Ça veut dire que dans une même relation avec Krishna, en fait, on a les différentes relations.
Pas exactement. C'est-à-dire qu'effectivement, dans certaines, on peut cultiver certaines rasas, plusieurs rasas en même temps, mais on ne les a pas toutes en même temps. Donc, on peut en cultiver 1 ou 2 ou 3. Voilà. C'est possible, oui. Voilà. Si c'est ça la question, c'est possible. Dans ma compréhension. Yes? So, let's remember Ramanadev, Lord Manadev. Let's remember Srila Prabhupada. Let's remember Radha Parisisvara, Jagannath Baladev, Sura Devi, Nitai Sista, Goranitai, and distribute nicely books to preach the glory of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Parisisvara ki jai. Nitai Go Premanandi. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.